I'm Spring, the fiber enthusiast. Alright guys, so for today's tutorial we are going to be using our scrap ball of yarn here. It is a 4-weight and Aran weight. Not much more I can say about that other than it's a scrap ball of yarn, and I believe it is Red Heart Super Saver, but it doesn't matter as long as you have a hook that is corresponding. I currently have a 5mm hook, and we're going to go ahead and move right on into today's tutorial. Today's tutorial is a stitch pattern that is in multiples of 2. If you are working from a base chain, it will be multiples of 2 plus 2 to your base chain. If you are working straight from one pattern onto the next, it is going to be multiples of 2 plus 1. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to go with a chain of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to place my finger at that 12th stitch, chain 2 more, and remember this loop on your hook means absolutely nothing but a loop on your hook. You're going to count back to your 3rd chain, which is where my thumb is, and place 1 double crochet. Those 2 chains that you just skipped is your first double crochet. So we now have 2 double crochets. Go ahead and place 1 double crochet in each chain across until you have reached the end. Just like such. Just a quick reminder, if there is any part of this that you need to know, like a double crochet, a chain, a slip knot, things like that, you can go back to my Crocheting Stitches Tutorials 101. There is a bunch of stitch tutorials in there, and if you start with the first one, you will see how to create a slip knot and a chain and double crochets and single crochets. Okay, we're coming up to the end of this base row here. Okay, gonna chain 1 and turn our work after all them double crochets. Sorry about that, I needed a little more yarn. Okay, so now we're going to get into our 2-row repeat. It's very simple to do. Basically, we did the first row. Now we're going to do the second row. Okay, first thing you're going to want to do after you chain 1, you're going to skip that very first stitch and place a double crochet into the 2nd stitch. Then you're going to reach down to the 3rd stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and go ahead and slip that loop through the one that was on your hook. That is called a slip stitch. Okay, double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to slip into the next one. Basically what a slip stitch is you are not creating any height. You're just transferring the yarn from here over to here without a big gap in the yarn. If we just reached over there, we'd have a hole. We don't want to do that. We want to create this little lumpy deal here. So we're moving the yarn along our work without creating height. Okay, now we're going to double crochet into the next, like that, and slip into the next, double crochet into the next, slip stitch into the next, double crochet into the next, slip stitch into the next. We're down to our last stitches. We have our very first, those 2 chains and our first double crochet here. So we're going to double crochet into that stitch and slip stitch into that very last one, which was our little chain space. Okay, and that is all there is to that. We're going to go ahead and do this repeat one more time. Chain 1, 2, 3, turn your work. That chain 3 is considered your first double crochet. You're going to go ahead and place 1 double crochet in each stitch across. Of course, we're not going to in that very first stitch because that's where we chain 3 from. And you might need to turn your work on edge so that way you can see where your stitches are along the way. So 1 double crochet into our first stitch and 1 double crochet into every stitch across. Right, so we are 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and last stitch down here at the end, 13. Okay. So we're back to our 13 double crochets that we originally started with. And as you can see, there is a little bit of a texture to this stitch. Okay, let's do the second row of this repeat. Chain 1, turn your work over. That chain 1 acts as our first slip stitch. So we're going to double crochet into that next stitch, not the first one, but the next one. Slip stitch into the next. Double into the next. Slip into the next. And you just keep repeating that all the way to the end of the row. 1 double, 1 slip, 1 double, 1 slip, 1 double, 1 slip, and your last 2 stitches, 1 double, and 1 slip down here at the very end into your chain 3. And that's all there is to it, guys. It's a very pretty, slightly textured stitch that works great for a lot of different patterns. Works up rather quickly, being a 2-row repeat. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, let me know down in the comments section and give me a thumbs up. If you have seen a stitch that you are unsure of and would like a tutorial on, please let me know down in the comments and I will do my best to figure out a tutorial for you. Until next time, thanks for watching, be blessed and be a blessing. Bye guys.